Joe Budden's business partner, Ian Schwartzman, hates on Charlamagne's Netflix deal. Now, this really shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Joe Budden and Charlamagne have had like a love-hate relationship for years. They used to do like content every once in a while, but it's been years since that happened. When the Netflix, iHeart, Black Effect, that whole partnership news dropped, Joe said he was happy for Charlamagne, but of course, in Joe fashion, he had to throw some underhanded compliments Charlamagne's way. So it should really come to no surprise that Joe's business partner feels the same way.
I spoke to Charlamagne yesterday actually about this.
Yep.
And he had an interesting take on it.
What was his take?
His take was that it's beneficial. You don't really know exactly how it's going to play out, but it's beneficial from the standpoint that YouTube has been taking advantage of creators for a long time and that there's no alternative to YouTube. Netflix, obviously, a higher level of production. So it's...
Is it?
Traditionally, Netflix show, like you have to, even if you're filming a documentary on Netflix, to my understanding, it has to be done with a certain level of camera or they're not going to even
4K. Now, I don't know what your conversation with Charlamagne was, but he didn't negotiate that deal with Netflix, right?
iHeart.
I
don't know if
right?
he did or not, but it was iHeart.
I'm saying iHeart's the beneficiary.
iHeart. It was a suite of iHeart podcasts.
Yeah. Keyword, it's a suite. iHeart was approached by Netflix. And now I'm speculating. I don't really know if this is how it works, but I'm using my better judgment. iHeart was approached by Netflix. Netflix came up with a really beneficial situation for iHeart to take their vodcasts and put them on a platform like Netflix. Not one at a time, a suite of them. And we just saw this recently happen with a competitor, Spotify. Bill Simmons and The Ringer, they announced 14 of his shows were going to be the first offerings from Spotify to Netflix for their partnership with Netflix. And my first thought was, didn't they buy The Ringer from Bill Simmons? Yeah. So that means Bill Simmons didn't negotiate with Netflix. I'm sure he's pretty angry right now. I'm sure Spotify gets all the upside of the Netflix deal. I'm sure iHeart gets all the upside of the iHeart situation with all their shows. And so what they're doing...
But iHeart doesn't own... We talk about this downstairs. Breakfast Club is different because that's an iHeart entity. The individual shows, I don't know this for certain, but I know it.
What shows are you referencing? Just give me a couple.
Joe and Jada.
They own their own show?
They don't?
I'm asking.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
I don't know.
Maybe Joe's a little better at disguising the hate. I don't know, but Ian really a little curmudgeon for real. I see why him and Joe get along so well, because really can't nobody deal with Joe. But these two niggas really might be a perfect fit. Two hating ass dudes, pinky in the brain type shit, just hating on people while they trying to take over the world.
What do you think is happening with Netflix and iHeart? I think, I'm just guessing, iHeart's having trouble making money on the audio side of all their businesses, terrestrial radio, digital. They don't know how to monetize it themselves. Yes, on a passive ad revenue fill, maybe they're filling 30 to 50% of their ad inventory, but that's nothing. That's low level mass corporate integration with products. They want to see real money. They have to give over an asset that is helping another company gain market share. What helps market share? When you could bundle up 50 shows, 50 iHeart shows that have video components to it and say, all 50 of these are now property of Netflix. We're going to take 3 of your 8 episodes per show and air it on Netflix. What happens with the creators? They go, yay, I'm on Netflix. But what really just happened is there was an enormous acquisition between Netflix and iHeart. Netflix paid iHeart multiples of the value of those vodcasts so that iHeart actually had a margin on these 50 shows that they've been investing in for years, probably just making a small 3 to 5% margin year over year. It's costing them brain damage to deal with each of these artists. So what's the one way they can go about it without having to negotiate with each artist? You go to the iHearts, you go to Spotify's. What do you guys have rights to? Show me. Show me a catalog. We want to buy in bulk. In bulk, you get a deal, right? In any industry.
Yeah.
You buy one of something, you pay premium. You buy 50 of something, you get a deal. Both parties win. In fact, I'm sure even the creators of the shows got a bump in their salary.
Yeah, they had to get an extra. They got,
bump in their salary.
Bump in their salary.
Allegedly. We don't know, but we would assume.
Bump in their salary.
We would assume.
I'm not saying I know anything factually. I'm just saying they're getting a bump in their pay.
So here's the question though, right?
So they didn't get their own structured deal.
I would have to take a strong stance on absolutely not. But that's my opinion. Yeah. I'm probably wrong.
I will say though, Ian do sound like he know what he talking about. Sound like, smart dude, but it definitely sound like hate. I don't know. You tell me. But what's interesting, I think Charlamagne did like being head and shoulders above Joe in the media space. And now that Joe is like, they're near caught up, and some would say passed up Charlamagne, I can't see where this like ultra competitive attitude is coming from. They thought they put Charlamagne in a coffin with that 20 mil from Patreon news. Then here comes Charlamagne fighting back. Nah, nigga, here you go. Catch this $200 million Netflix deal. See how you like that. And of course, not to be outdone, the Joe Budden podcast, they inked their Netflix deal, but not for streaming. They're running Netflix ads on their pod.
Come to you. Maybe they don't.
We have business with Netflix.
Yeah,
So that's why
you got to.
But my deal, here's the difference.
Okay. Because this is
I just saw you posted a Netflix.
Yeah, I posted something. I wanted to just show people the Netflix logo on our show.
promoting the upcoming events.
We were actually lucky enough to have the privilege to talk about the new Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua fight that's December 19th, this Friday on Netflix. And yeah, we weren't part of these announcements of we're going to be putting our content on Netflix. I love Netflix. I think they're a great platform. I think they've captured our generation. I think they're absolutely competition to any platform you could put in the air around them, and a cultural staple that will not be going anywhere anytime soon. What I think is genius that let me slow down. We didn't do a deal where our content is going to Netflix yet.
Mm-hmm.
Our deal that we did with Netflix was it was like an advertising partnership. You know, we have partnerships. It has nothing to do with our content being on Netflix.
So it's just the content. Your content is not on Netflix. Netflix has their logo on it.
Not yet. No, not yet.
So
not
Netflix
yet.
just put the logo on your show. Or you just have a segment.
No, we
like
do original integrations for shows that
it's a commercial. It's a commercial.
We're doing commercials.
You have a commercial for Netflix.
No.
Lower third.
No, we did. Lower Third is just one of the branded pieces of content, but we did an integration deal with them where when we agree on an event or a show or a doc or a movie that we both like and feel like reaches an audience that can be impactful through our show, that we do business together. That's it.
What does
I'm
that
not going to get any deeper into the business.
No, but what does that mean? You're running a commercial.
It means that they talk to us individually.
No.
They talk to me.
I get that part. I'm just saying on the Joe Budden podcast, right?
Yeah.
I see a Netflix thing on there.
Yes, the logo. You mean the Netflix logo?
Netflix logo.
Yeah.
So you have like a 5-minute part of the Joe Budden podcast.
I think it was like 20 minutes the other day.
When you're talking about the fight.
And we don't have to do 20. Listen, I don't want to get into the details of my deal structure. The point is that we have a partnership with them. You just saw a first iteration of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's us talking about the Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua fight. That's exclusively on Netflix. And that was the extent of it.
Yeah.
That's it for now.
But the content is not on Netflix.
No.
So that transition from, and you spoke about it earlier, the transition from we're not doing ads to now we are taking ads.
No, we're doing partnerships.
Partnership.
We do partnerships. Ads are like
one-off.
Ads are like, hey, this Friday, December 19th, catch the Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua fight only on Netflix. I'm Joe Budden. We don't do that.
You have an integrated conversation that's organic.
Yes.
That
it's not just integrated. It's very much collaborative.
Interwoven.
It's very interwoven.
Now, this is crazy on so many levels. I could be wrong, but it seems like they heard about the big iHeart Netflix deal and they didn't want to feel left out. They wanted Netflix news, so they start running ads, I guess. But that's been Joe's whole thing. Like when I tell y'all I've been listening to Joe since day one, I really have. Like Dirty Tank Top, all of that. I remember when he was turning down every ad deal that got offered because he said it was tacky, low budget. I never really understood it. I still don't. I never cared that podcasts have ads. I listen to all type of podcasts. When an ad comes up, I hit that skip button 2-3 times. Voila, no ad, no problem. Never really bothered me. But for them to make such a big deal about ads all these years and now finally decide ads are okay. Nah, man, y'all got to do y'all homework. Do your homework on Joe talking crazy about podcasts taking ad money. Do your homework, man. And why is Ian trying to act like what they did for Netflix is some special integration capsule? What did he call it? But man, these games between two titans of media industry is very entertaining for the rest of us. So keep the game going. Fuck it. And as long as nobody say nothing too crazy, they can't always link up in a few years for a little New Year wrap up. I think that's what they used to do together. But the most enlightening conversation from this whole episode was Ian revealing that he co-owns the pod with Joe.
You own a part of the show network. Your equity.
I would say it's even deeper than that.
Okay.
The word equity is, that's a loosely thrown around term nowadays. Mm-hmm. But I'm an integral part of how the business was formed and how the business operates and runs today. So yes, I'm definitely an owner in the Joe Budden Network. However, I will say this clearly that the Joe Budden Network is owned by Joe Budden, which is a very important piece. And I don't mean solely, but there are no angel investors or majority shareholders. It is owned by Joe Budden. Yes, my involvement is there. I do have ownership there, but it's in a very unique way. And Joe and I have found an ability to work together that has set us apart from every other business relationship you kind of see in our space.
Now, they didn't get into percentages, obviously, but I'm curious. Does Ian own 50%? 30%? I always thought that was the whole point of Joe getting Rory and Maul out the paint, so he didn't have to share the pie with these niggas. But if he giving some of the pie to Ian, maybe that's why he got rid of him. He already had to give Ian a slice, so to give up 2 more slices would have left him with a little ass piece. Oh man, I think I'm seeing the hieroglyphics now. It's all starting to make sense. Yo, if you're still here, check out these 2 videos. I post entertainment, hip hop, and pop culture commentary. Subscribe for more videos. And as always, I appreciate you for rocking with me thus far. Until next time, YouTube, peace.